What's up? I believe we are live. Good to see you guys. Welcome. We are talking about an important topic today, results, which, to be honest, in business, I think results is the name of the game. I'll let some people hop on real quick. What's up, guys? Welcome. Go ahead and share and let me know where you're watching from. What's up, guys? We got people hopping on. Happy Thursday, Friday, whenever you're watching this. A lot of people have been asking me about how to get rid of overwhelm and how to really simplify, because when you move with clarity, there's nothing more powerful on the planet than someone that has clear objectives of what they want. So I'm going to talk about the power of gaining absolute clarity and how that equivalates to results. And for me, it's funny. I had the worst week of my life and the best week of my life in the same month. And I want to share that with you guys because it was such a crazy experience that it made such a difference in my business, positive and negative, in those 2 weeks. It was crazy. So I'm going to share that with you in a second. What's up, guys? What's up, Lisa, Heath, Holly, Brianna Harris, Chris Snyder, Amanda? Good to see you guys. Today is going to be a very powerful, simple Facebook Live, simple YouTube Live, simple talk. But make sure you comment where you're watching from. And thanks for joining, guys. My pure focus in these is just to give you as much value, tactical value as possible that you can leave this live with and go take action on. I really pride myself in trying to give the best possible free content for you through whatever platform you consume. And today, I want to share two things, and that's it. I want to talk about something called the brain dump and how to get rid of overwhelm when you're overwhelmed in terms of business, life, everything coming at you. You're stressed, you're frustrated, how one activity could change the game for you. And then I'm going to go through something called the Focus 5 activity that I do that shifts my focus more than anything else in the world. But I want to share with you first how I had the worst week of my life, the best week of my life, and the worst week of my life 2 weeks later. And this is very prevalent to business. So I finally understand, this is 2009. I finally understand the importance of momentum, the importance of business results. I have a mentor. I'm finally gaining some momentum in my business. I don't need to go through all the details, but I'm finally actually becoming successful. I'm going to record this. So I'm finally actually becoming successful in my business. And we have our best week ever in sales. I have a pretty big sales team. I have employees. I have receptionists. I have all kinds of moving parts in my business. I have the best week I've had in a long time. I get one of my biggest paychecks I've had in a long time. And I'm new, I'm young, and I feel like I'm the CEO. I'm on top of the world. I'm finally making money as an entrepreneur. So, of course, what I do next is I want to celebrate and take a break and take a vacation. So I get these huge results. I get my biggest paycheck ever, and I decide to take a vacation. So I take 7 days off. And because I was an immature leader, I don't feel like I had to tell my team. I was like, hey, I kind of just hinted, I'm going to take a week off. We just crushed it. I'm going to take a week off and relax and celebrate. And of course, in my head, I'm like, I'm the CEO, I'm the manager, I'm the leader. I can do what I want, which is a horrible mentality. Because your team is the one that drives and lifts you up. But I found this out later. So I go on vacation. The person that was kind of overseeing the company and someone that was part of that same company that I was kind of working under was like, why are you leaving? I'm like, we just had a great week. And he's like, all right. So I left. Week goes by. I come back. Literally 90% of my team quit. A couple of my receptionists quit, and I'm left with literally no team. I'm thinking I come back, it's going to be bigger than ever. We're going to have another record-breaking week. These paychecks are going to continue. But it was the exact opposite. Because I didn't set systems up, because I didn't actually put anything in place to allow people to thrive while I was gone, because there was no blueprints that people could follow, and because there was no social accountability, I didn't have any hierarchy set up or leadership set up. Almost everyone quit. We went from the best week that I've ever had to one of the worst weeks results wise. And I didn't even have a paycheck because I was paid off results. So it was such a drastically different emotional state for me having the best week to the worst week ever, because I was thinking that business was consistent whether I was there or not. But my mentor told me something I'll never forget that I want to share. And it was, your job as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a leader, as a businessman, as a father, as a husband, whatever, your job is to produce results, whether you feel like it or not, whether you're there or not, whether you're sick or not. And I thought about that, and I was like, wow, I didn't produce results at all, but I produced results the week before. So it does not allow me to travel, and not if that weeks that you're gone's not taken care of. And I see too many entrepreneurs right now taking too much time off and celebrating things when their business isn't fully operational and fully systemized and fully leveraged. And that's a huge problem. And I had to learn the hard way. So here's the reality. When I'm super overwhelmed and when I'm super frustrated, I try to keep my mind on results still, because that's what moves the needle forward for your business. But sometimes results are hard to get. And what I want to share with you today is the power of simplifying your business into a couple categories. Now, the activity is called the brain dump, but it's how to get rid of overwhelm and how to increase your clarity. And it's a super powerful exercise. Between 2010 and 11, after that instance happened, I went through a big transition and was finally understanding, in my eyes, business and results and leadership and delegation. And I was having some of the biggest weeks, months, and years of my life. And I was finally starting to understand the power of operating business like a CEO, like a professional. But the bigger the weeks, the bigger the team, the more responsibility, the more the stress. And I reached out to my mentor because I didn't know what to do. And the first thing that I had to do is I had to get to the root cause. So anyone, if you're overwhelmed, if you're frustrated, if you're discouraged, you have to get to the root cause. If you don't get to the root cause, it just keeps happening. This is why attacking the core issue is crucial before you do any tactical strategies or take any action. So here are a couple common ones for me that's happened or that I've seen with people that reach out to me. This is the most common reason I think people are not operating with absolute clarity right now. Number one, they're saying yes too much. You got to have a filter system on what you say yes to and what you say no to. They're still trying to please people. That's a huge killer of clarity and ambition. Second thing is lack of action or addiction to information and knowledge and not execution. Too much information coming in your head without getting it out there into action is going to overwhelm you. And when you're overwhelmed, you seek distraction subconsciously. If information was all we needed, everybody would be billionaires because there's so much information, right? So you got to be careful with that. 3 is Superman syndrome, where you feel like you have to do everything yourself. You're scared to delegate. You don't trust people. You don't know how to develop people. And in turn, you feel like you have to do everything yourself and no one can do things better than you. And 4th, you just don't have your priorities or values intact. You don't have your priorities or values mapped out. So usually it's one of those 4 things that happen when you're overwhelmed. I don't know which one it is for you. Maybe there's something else, but that's the first thing I always figure out is what is the root cause of my overwhelm and why am I feeling overwhelmed? I'm telling you, if you're trying to operate your business and you're overwhelmed and your priorities aren't intact and you don't have a filter system for what you take on, it's going to seep in and affect your business, which will affect your results. And remember, your job as an entrepreneur is to produce results consistently, whether you feel like it or whether you're there or not. So this boils back to getting real results in your business. So second thing I do, getting so fired up, things are falling. Second thing I do, go ahead and comment, guys, where you're watching from. And if you can share this, that'd be awesome. But let's get some, if you understand the power of results, if you have had any breakthroughs and realize, wow, I need to get results in my business, go ahead and like this or let me know. So the next thing you have to do, I'm just going to share this real quick, guys. The next thing you have to do is get rid of everything in your head. I mean, every single thing in your mind that's festering, you have to write it down. Literally write every single thing down. the completion of my book. This person is really frustrating me and is toxic in my life. These 5 things, this thing's frustrating me. This deadline's frustrating me. This is frustrating me. This has been festering on my mind. Literally, right? I'm going to give you a filter system on how to deal with these things, but write down everything that's been frustrating you. Okay. And you have to understand first, when you look, and I've done this probably 50 times the last 7-8 years, maybe more. I do this maybe once every 2 months, and sometimes I wait till my back's against the wall and I wait till I'm so overwhelmed that it halts my action. So now I try not to wait till my back's against the wall. Now I try to do this every month or two when I feel a little bit of overwhelm. So now I look at this list. And for me, it's a little overwhelming. So you have to kind of focus on what you want, not everything you have to do, right? You have to shift that focus. And then for me, I understand most of these things won't matter a year from now. A lot of these things won't even matter a couple of weeks from now. And they're made up things in our head that sometimes involve pleasing others, right? So I write down 4 things on my list. 1, I write down can't change. 2, I write down delegate or delete. 3, I write down schedule date. And 4, I write down take action right away. Okay, let me explain what these mean. So first thing, I go through the list, whether there's 10 things or 50 things. And there's an act of writing something down that decreases the stress and the capacity on your brain. There's been studies done. So when you write everything down on your mind, it literally releases endorphins and you already feel better and you already have a little sense of relief. But now you have all these things that you threw up on your paper. Now you have all these things to deal with. So then I go through all the lists. What of these things can I not change? What of these things that I don't have control over, I can't change, and there's no purpose and no positive energy should be put towards this because I can't change it. Right? Like there's nothing I can do. If someone in your family's sick, or if this is frustrating you, but you don't have control over it, you have to understand I can't change it. So it's just cross it out. I cannot change it. It has to get out of your head. If it's festering in your head and you can't change it, that's the biggest cause of anxiety. Number 2, what can I delegate or delete? This is something I love doing now that I understand the power of delegation in business, and the best leaders on the planet understand how to delegate and develop people. I say, okay, what am I going to delegate? Okay, this one, delete. There's no point in this. This one can wait. I'm deleting this. This one I need to delegate. I'm going to email blank. This one I need to delegate. I'm going to text Nancy and tell her to get this done by Friday, right? So delegate, delete. 3rd, schedule a date that you're going to complete it. Okay, these 2 things. I need to do this. I need to finish my book, but I don't have time this week because I'm doing this presentation or because I have this. Okay, next Thursday and Friday, I'm working on chapter 4 and 5 Thursday and 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 Friday. Okay, I'm blocking off those 2 days to work on my book, nothing else. So you're scheduling dates. Now, right when you schedule a date, it's out of your head. No more overwhelm. There's no point in worrying about it or stress about it. It's just like Will Smith said about skydiving. He goes, I trained myself not to be nervous pointlessly, where I was super scared of skydiving, but the month coming up to skydiving, I didn't even think about it. The only second I allowed myself to be nervous and scared was the second I was in the plane, like right before I jumped. Before that, I blocked the nervousness because there's no point in worrying if it's not happening. And I thought that was a pretty good point. So once you get something scheduled, forget about it. Don't even think about it. Because if it's festering on your mind, but it's scheduled in, you're causing yourself unwanted stress, frustration, discouragement, and overwhelm, right? Schedule a date. Next, I take things that, if they're quick, if they're 10 minutes or less, I take action on them right away. So these 3 things, I'm literally, after I write these down, I'm taking action on these things. And that really helps me. So now you have things you can't change, things you deleted, delegated, which aren't important. You have something that you've scheduled in the future, and things you've taken action right away. Okay. I have a 90% rule. When you look at a new opportunity, you rank it on a scale of 1 to 100 on how valuable and meaningful it is to you based on what's most important to you in your life. Okay. If it's a 90 or above, if it isn't a 90 or above, I don't do it. So your job is to fit everything in that is a 90 or above, and spend your energy on the best possible things that give you energy that match your values in business and in life. Okay, that's the second thing, brain dump. So first, figure out what the root cause. Second, brain dump, get rid of everything, and then delegate, delete, schedule, or take action on. And third, you've heard me talk about this a million times, but mastery versus overload. Before you take anything on, asking yourself, is this information congruent to my 6-month vision that is ideal for me? Is this information proven and taught by somebody who has the results I want? Have I took action on the previous information I've learned? And am I certain this is the best possible information and training on this subject? If you're going to study something, you might as well study the best possible, most proven piece of content or information or book on that subject so you don't waste time. Okay. So focus on being very selective with what you consume and what you take on. Start unfollowing people who don't have similar values, who are irrelevant to your vision and goal, because there's too much consuming and too much consumption and not enough production. In this crazy time, in this pandemic, in this recession, we need producers, not consumers. Of course, we need consumers, but if you're watching this, you're probably an entrepreneur that wants to make a difference, wants to make money, wants to grow their business, wants to actually be someone that is the rock for those around them. So you got to be a producer. And then I do a 90-day checkup. So once I do my brain dump, I set my schedule 3 months out, 90-day checkup to check on myself on how the brain dump went. So what I do here is I write down the biggest lessons and perspective shifters from that 90 days, my top wins and my proudest accomplishments. Did I add enough, or how much value did I add to the marketplace to make sure I stay ahead of the competition? Did I stay adventurous and fully alive? And did I work on things that were not just in the moment for my business, but growth and legacy focused? What new relationships did I build that I need to nourish and take care of? And what results have I been measuring, and how am I doing with those? So those are the 90-day checkup is something that I do after the brain dump, because it centers me and it makes me kind of check myself. It's called a reality check. I also increase stuff and decrease, or I increase energy and I decrease stuff. Let me tell you what that means. I haven't really shared this before, but I wanted to share because I feel like it'll help. So I delete or get rid of everything that others can do better than me, everything that drains my energy, and everything, all relationships that are going nowhere. I get rid of those. So everything others can do better than me, everything that drains my energy, and relationships that go nowhere. People always ask, you're so positive, you're traveling so much with your family, you seem like you have a dream life. I work hard behind the scenes, but I'm constantly doing things to increase my energy, to increase my peace of mind, to increase my happiness, to increase my relationships, to increase my love, and get rid of toxic people, get rid of victims, negativity, haters, naysayers. Life's too short, right? So people always wonder, and they sit there and ask, how are you doing these things? I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. It's just people would rather validate and escape reality and do everything except what actually helps them in their business. That's what mind boggles me. So here's what I increase. I increase everything I permanently love. Everything I know that I love doing, every person I know I love, I try to increase my time, my focus, my energy of that thing, whether it's a relationship, family, whether it's something I love doing. Everything that produces growth in my business, I increase. So your job is to continue to do things in your business that are producing growth producing activities. Because if you're just a lot of business owners that if I audit their business or I dig deep in their business and they're just maintaining, they're barely taking care of their bills, or they're just maintaining every month, it's because they're focusing on things that just maintain. Everything that maintains your business, that keeps it steady, should be delegated or systemized. You should only be working on things that produce growth. So I remind myself, okay, Peter, you're doing too many things that maintain. It's driving you crazy. You're right. So that moment I delegate, right? Now I need to do things that produce real growth in my business. And lastly, I try to increase things that grow my confidence. I try to increase things that grow my confidence. Okay. So that's what I do to clear my mind and to understand how to be more focused on what matters. I would love to hear from you. What do you do to clear your mind? Post below what you do to clear your mind. And then I wanted to go through this Focus 5 activity real quick. That's super simple. But this is kind of relating it back down to changing your focus to what matters. So there's 4 things I write down. I do this every week, every couple of weeks. Once again, I'd love to hear from you what you do to get rid of overwhelm, to get yourself focused, to get in a better state of mind. So I write down 4 things and that's it. First thing I write down is 5 things I'm grateful for. Now, this allows, anytime I'm stressed or frustrated, this allows me to shift my perspective and focus on what I'm appreciative of. And me understanding some things that I'm taking for granted, people are praying for, right? Some things that you take for granted, other people would do anything for. So it's important to keep your perspective, especially when 15 or 20 million Americans are losing their job the past couple of weeks and all these things are going on, small businesses going under. You got to be appreciative. This is one of the biggest things. When I take on too much, my wife knows my standards are so high that I'm always trying to better my best and I'm always trying to push my limits, which isn't always good. But when I feel overwhelmed, and not only do I do that brain dump, but I also focus on what I'm grateful for. Second thing, what am I proud of? To get me back focused on confidence. What am I proud of? What have I accomplished the last 5 or 10 years? It makes you not focus on living in the gap so much, right? So what are you grateful for? What are you proud of? What are some things you've done in the last couple of years that you're proud of? Find things that you're proud of. This gives you a sense of self-worth and confidence. 3 is, what am I excited about? Life gets mundane and lethargic sometimes if you don't focus on what you're excited about. I know people doing the same thing every day and they wonder why they're not fulfilled and why they're not fired up and excited about life. You have to have stuff you're excited about. I don't care what it is. We are always planning trips. We are always planning dinners. We're planning, whether it's something simple like, all right, Thursday night, we're playing Monopoly with the family. We're doing a fire barbecue on Saturday, whatever. Have stuff to look forward to. This gets you excitement. So gratitude gets you in grateful state of mind, appreciative state of mind. What you're proud of gets you in a confident and a great headspace. Excited about gets you excited and eager for what's next. And 4th, I always bring it back to what are the 5 results I want to get or achieve in the next 30 to 60 days. What are the results that I want to get? Actual results. Results aren't easy to get in business, which is why most people do everything except what produces results, right? Results is what moves the needle forward for you. So now you're grateful, you're confident, you're excited, and now it's like, okay, let's get back to work on what actually matters in my life and business. Moving the needle forward, getting real results, making those phone calls, connecting with those people, getting more subscribers, right? Getting more customers, attracting more A players to your business, whatever it is. Always bring it back to results. Okay. And any questions on what we talked about? Anything you need me to clarify? These are just things that I've done that I want to share because it does nothing for me keeping these things in. And I know the feeling of being massively overwhelmed and having anxiety more than you even realize. So having these activities or these untold secrets to hold on to, it has changed my life. And I want to share those with you. If it helped or if anything stood out, I'd love to hear that as well. I'm going to look at some of the questions now. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and ask any questions you have. Oh, yeah. People have been asking me this, and Horace, great question. I am grateful for all the hustles, but I know most of trying to come up with side hustles during these times. Any advice for that? Yeah. So side hustles are, I think, more relevant and needed than ever right now because of the jobs disappearing, because a lot of the secure jobs we thought were once secure are not secure anymore, right? So side hustles, I think, are needed more than ever. I think a month or two ago, I did a free training. We can post the link below for you guys, but I did a free training on the top 20 side hustles. I researched for about 3 weeks on the most lucrative and the most proven and the most powerful side hustles. A side hustle is something you can do on the side that you can make a little bit of money on to pay your bills. And eventually, if you go all in and make that side hustle full time, you can, sometimes I've seen people replace their income with it, right? But remember this, um, a side hustle usually brings side hustle money, which is still great because it's money. But if you dabble in something, you get dabbler money. So I see a lot of people dabbling in entrepreneurship, but then they get confused that they have dabbler money. If you want to dabble, then enjoy dabble money. If you want to be a professional and go all in, you'll have some all in money. So if you want to go all in on these side hustles, they can produce some pretty great things. And I mean, industries that are thriving, like running trainings on Zoom, right? Creating a coaching business, doing if you're a speaker, doing things online now, right? E-commerce is blowing up. We just had a call with one of the biggest e-commerce experts on the planet, teaching how to go from zero to having 4 products, sell 25 a day, and going to $1 million your first year. So e-commerce is a great one. But I don't want to get into the details. I did do a training. It's peterjvoog.com/recession proof. No strings attached. I just go through the top 20 side hustles of 2020 that maybe one of those is relevant to you. And I share my thoughts on where the industry is going and what industries to get into, what ones are dying and things like that. So great question as well. Brianna, write everything down. Yeah, that's huge. I do that all the time. Anytime I'm overwhelmed, it instantly goes on my notepad. And then I realize probably 40% is irrelevant. I'm stressing about things I either can't change or won't matter in a year. And that's such a big perspective shift for me. So if someone could put the link down too, it's peterjvoog.com/recession proof. Any other questions, guys? I got another call coming up in like 15, 20 minutes I want to prepare for. I just wanted to get on real quick and share this with you because I know some of you guys might be overwhelmed. But once again, no matter what you're going through, you're only one decision away from the right decision. You could make 50 bad decisions in a row. You're one decision away from making the right one, business-wise, relationship-wise, health-wise, whatever it is. So let me remind you one more time if you just got on. The activity, the brain dump, you can rewind this and watch it. But the 4 things I write down, what am I grateful for? 5 things I'm grateful for, 5 things I'm proud of, 5 things I'm excited about for my future, and then 5 results I'm committed to achieving the next 30 to 60 days. Eliminate the baggage to make room for the assets. I love it, Eartha. That's awesome. Huge. Yep. Results is the name of the game. All right, guys. I appreciate it. I'll put the link below. Where have you invested? What's your product or companies of interest? I've done e-com. I've invested in a pretty huge company that went online. So there's a lot of, Dress Barn, Pier One, a lot of these big companies. The CEOs are so confused about how to do online sales. It's mind-boggling. There's a company was doing, I think, a couple billion, and they had 500,000 organic Amazon searches every single week, okay, for their product. And they still didn't want to go on Amazon. That's how stubborn some of these CEOs are. It's mind-boggling. Some of these big companies are doing billions, and they're doing 10 to 15% of those online sales when it should be flopped, right? So these companies are going bankrupt, and I'm investing in some of those companies. I've invested in a company that does crypto, but mainly my investments are real estate, 4-plex, 2-plex, multifamily, residential real estate. But companies that have a big upside that I really value are ones that are seeing trends that are happening or are solving huge problems in online focused or e-commerce focused platforms. Great question. All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for everyone that shared this. If you have any questions, comment or post below, and I appreciate you. I'll put that link below as well, but have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you for your support. Thanks for being on this call with me. Hope you got some value, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.